Hi everyone, this is the 70th video of the ACT Math Practice Problem series, and here we have a nice problem from the concept of inequalities. As I always recommend, before seeing the solution, you can pause the video and give it a try yourself. And after that, of course, you want to match with my solution. So let's get started. Here the question says, if A, B and C are real numbers such that C is less than 0, which is less than A, which is less than B, then which of the following is true? And we have been given 5 options. We have to find out which answer option is the correct one, right? To solve this kind of problem, first we have to understand what has been provided here, right? So you have been told that A is less than B. However, A and B, they both are positive numbers. So let me quickly make a note here that A is greater than 0, B is greater than 0, and C is negative, C is less than 0. And then of course A is less than B, or you can think of it like B is greater than A, right? So with that information, now let's try to find out if the first option is true or not. So in the first option, what do we have? We have AC less than BC. So it looks like we have C multiplied to both A and B. Now what is the original relationship of A and B? Well, original relationship here is the given relationship is A is less than B. And then C being a negative number, C is actually a negative number. So we have to be careful. When we multiply the both sides of an inequality by a negative number, the sign of inequality will flip. So from here, what can we say? Well, if we multiply both sides by C, then the inequality sign should flip. That means AC will become greater than BC. I mean, A times C will be greater than B times C. So our first statement here is not true, meaning the first condition provided under option F is not true. So I'm going to put a cross mark there. So that is not true. Alright, let's look at the second one. In option G, you can see that number C has been added to both A and B. Now what is the original relationship again? Well, A is less than B, that is the provided relationship, and if we add both sides by C, then what will happen? Well, then the sign of inequality will not change. When you are adding or subtracting the same number from both sides of an inequality, the inequality sign does not change. So in this case, what will happen? Well, if we say A plus C, it will still be less than B plus C. But in option G, we don't have the less than sign, we have the greater than sign, so that is also not true. So I'm going to put a cross mark there. So this is also not true. Option G is also not true. Alright. Now let's quickly look at the option H. Now option H here looks like we are dividing both sides by a negative number. Here again the original relationship between A and B is A less than B, and if we divide both sides by a negative number, then the inequality sign will change. That means if we do A divided by C, it will be greater than B divided by C, because we are dividing both sides by the same number. However, the number itself is a negative number, and in that case the sign of inequality will flip. Now if you look at the given option here under H, we have a less than sign there, but in reality it is actually greater than, so this is also not true. And then if you look at option J, here again we are subtracting C from both sides of an inequality. Our original inequality is A less than B, and we are subtracting C from both sides of this inequality. So we have A minus C and we have B minus C. Now if you think about it, when you are adding or subtracting the same number from both sides of an inequality, the sign of inequality will not change. So it will remain as less than. But if you look at the answer option, we have the greater than sign. So this option is also not true. Alright, so we have checked all 4 of them, they are not true. Now you can make a guess that the 5th one must be true, right? Well, let's quickly check that. Now for the 5th one, we have C times A minus B. Well, is A minus B positive or negative? Well, let's start with the original inequality. We have A less than B, and if we subtract B from both sides, then we will get A minus B less than B minus B. So from here you can clearly see that A minus B is actually less than 0. That means the quantity A minus B is actually negative. So if A minus B is negative, then C times A minus B would be what? Well, from here let's say, okay, so we have seen that A minus B is negative, and then we are going to multiply both sides of this inequality by another negative number, which is C. So as soon as you do that, the sign of inequality will change. So if we say C times A minus B, what will happen to the inequality sign? It will become greater than 0, because 0 times C would be 0 anyway. So on the right hand side I am just keeping 0, but on the left hand side you can see that A minus B is already a negative number, and then we are multiplying by another negative number, which is C. So the product of 2 negative numbers will obviously be positive. So this is our answer, and this is actually the correct one, right? And if you look at our answer option, obviously option K is the correct option. I hope everything made sense. Thank you for for watching. See you in the next video.